Now I don't know why Tiffany did that to Bakari, but she knows she dead wrong, and she finna receive her karma because Tiffany, no, this is not how this is supposed to go. But let's just get right into it. It's your boy Jamar back with another video. Back with another banger. Today I'm reviewing The Shy Season 8, Episode 7, titled Icebox. And this was an okay episode. I'm really just over this season. I'm ready for the season to end and the series to end because The Shy just has not been it these past 2 seasons. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm ready for the show to end. It hasn't been giving me nothing for it to be the final season. Y'all haven't really been giving me much. But let's just get right into the episode. So the episode starts off with Tiffany having like recurring nightmares because she's feeling guilty about killing her because she's never killed nobody before. So then she asks Trig how he got over his killings, and he basically just says you really don't. And then they basically agree to blame Bakari, which is messed up. I'm like, yeah, okay, you mad at Bakari didn't tell you, but Bakari don't deserve this because something would have happened to that boy. You just don't care. This is save your behind. Like that's a little weird. So then Nick's right hand man decides to take over the business since Nick is not around, and he confronts Reg, and Reg basically says he don't have nothing to do with that. He don't know who killed Nick, and they basically agree to stay away from each other. So Tiffany tells Bakari to take the fall for Nugs. If anybody asks that he's the one who killed Nug, and at first he was hesitant about it, but then he disagrees to it, which I was just like, why would he do that? Like, if I was Bakari, I would not have done that. I would have said F all y'all, and I was just left town. Bakari needs to leave town. He's tripping. Like, this is too much. So then Emmett, Keisha, and Tiffany are with the wedding planner planning the wedding, and they're having disagreements because Emmett didn't know that Tiffany was the one paying for the wedding. And, Keisha just asked Tiffany that for moving forward to just stay away from the wedding planning. But then she ends up asking Tiffany, I have like you still haven't heard from Nug, this and that. She was like, "What do you think happened to him?" She was like, "I don't know. Maybe Bakari did." She was like, "You think he would do something?" And she was like, "I don't know. Maybe. I won't put it past him." So then, Shaw ends up talking to his girl and telling her that Roslyn was the one who killed Nora, and I thought he was watching her. And he's basically mad at his girl, because she she didn't protect Nora like she said she would. So then Jake is at his crib with his girl and Lene, and they basically come up with an idea to come up with a party with no phone. So they throw a no phone party, and everyone shows up, and they end up having a good time. And this and that, and the third. That wasn't really none. That was just kind of like fillery. So I'm just kind of like skipping through that part. No cap. So then Keisha confronts Bakari and asks him, did he kill Nook? And he says he did kill Nook, and it was self-defense. It was either going to be him or Nook. So then Keisha tells Emmett, and she tells Emmett to fire Bakari. So then Bakari confronts Trig, and Trig basically tells him that, listen, we putting it on Bakari because he didn't tell us about, Nook killing Robin. It is what it is, but don't tell Keisha. So then, what you call it? Bakari's sister ends up asking him what's been going on with him. He says nothing. She was like, "You sure you don't want to come to Atlanta with me?" He was like, "No, I feel like I gotta stay here." Like, Bakari, if you just don't go ahead and go to Atlanta with your sister, bro, you're gonna end up getting killed. I promise you. Like, y'all need to stop making these dumb decisions. So then Trey goes to see Fatima to see if there's any sparks between them, and he basically says that he still has feelings for her and this and that and third. So then Fatima asks her friend for advice, and she basically just keeps telling her, if you want Trey, go ahead and get him. So then Emmett confronts Bakari. He basically saying, listen, I know you didn't kill Nook, but Keisha wants me to fire you. So he was like, bet, fire me then. And then he ends up firing Bakari. And then Emmett ends up hiring Keith back. And, because he needs someone ASAP. And Keith's been asking for his job back. So then Keith tells his girlfriend, he asks his girlfriend to stop selling drugs to Reg, and she ends up starting selling drugs to him, and Reg gets upset. So then he asks Tiffany to become his new supplier because he needs a new supplier ASAP. So then Emmett is trying to expand Smokies, and basically he and the owner agreed that they're gonna fly to a new location, and expand it in other cities. And she ends up asking her girl to was just handles as girl to come with her, and she agrees. So then what you call it, not Victor, Shaw tells Trig that what you call it, that Reg was the one who killed Nora, and Trig is upset, but he basically convinces Trig to try to talk to Reg because he wants them to have a relationship with him because that was the deal that he made with Reg. So then Darnell and his girl are talking. They basically talking about still living with Emma and Keisha, and they're about to get married. And she basically saying, listen, you need to go back to the house. It's okay if you break down crying, but you need to go back to that house, and you may say he loves her and this and that and third. So then the episode ends with Detective Toussaint knocking on Bakari's door asking about Nook. And the episode cuts off. So that was the end of this episode. We got 3 more episodes left in the season, and the show is done. I'm excited for the show to finally end because, like I said, it's been giving me a bunch of nothing. So that was the end of this week's episode. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 8.